A brief look at the career so far of Conor McDavid. He's drafted first overall, as most hockey fans will know. If you're new to the sport, he's the first overall draft pick in 2015 for the Edmonton Oilers, where he's played his entire senior pro career. His first season in 2015-2016, he's thrown straight at the Wolves. There is no wait. You're going in. Your first overall draft pick, you're going in. Much like Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Draisaitl and Yakupov before he's thrown straight in. Into a team that isn't really a great team. A lot of young players and some experienced players are near the end of their careers. Low on confidence, haven't made the playoffs for a decade. Really a team that's at the bottom of the league regularly every season. He only plays 45 games due to injury. He breaks his collarbone. 16 goals, 32 assists, 48 points, 18 penalty minutes. Not bad numbers, especially when you're playing on a team that is a mess. Low confidence, no momentum, haven't made the playoffs in a long time, regularly at the bottom of the league, regularly getting hammered by sides, beaten up. 2016 is an asterisk. They make the playoffs this year. Complete turnaround. They make some good off season signings. They do some trades. They get rid of some of the flops. They bring in some new fresh blood. He plays a full season, fully fit the whole year. No issues. 82 games, 30 goals, which isn't bad. 70 assists. That's insane. That's a lot of assists. And he gets 100 points in his second year. That is a massive turnaround. Bearing in mind he's played a full season, no injury. 26 penalty minutes. He can throw the body around a little bit. He's a big physical lad, is Conor McDavid. And obviously, star player, he's going to be targeted by agitators and players to get him off his game, or some physical players. He's going to get physical back. Rarely does he drop the gloves, but he will, occasionally get done for hooking, slashing, late hit, things like that, tripping. He does get penalties. Not as many as some star players, but he gets some. This season just gone, another 82 games played. More goals, so he's now having to take more goal scoring opportunities because the team didn't do so well this past season. Less assists, only by 3 less assists. So assists are still the same, 67. 108 points. So he's even having a better season than the season before on a team that doesn't make the playoffs. The whole team really performs really well this season. Issues in net, issues in defence. Some of the forwards aren't producing, having dry spells. Only Draisaitl and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins are there. Some bad trades as well off the ice, which has had some controversy behind that. But still good numbers on a team that isn't performing. He's now carrying that team with just 2 teammates, in Draisaitl and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Those 3 are keeping this team competitive. If 1, 2, or all 3 of them were injured or suspended, the team has had it. He is the star player, but Draisaitl and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, damn good players in their own right, who could be first or second line centres at another team. Because he is seen as like the Messiah, the new Gretzky, there's a lot of media pressure in the Canadian market, on a small market as well, Edmonton, on Conor McDavid. And we'll look at his playoff numbers quickly. 2016-17, they make the playoffs for the first time in about a decade. It's a big thing. Calgary, their nearest rivals, have made the playoffs more regularly in recent times than they have. And there's the Battle of Alberta finally means something because both teams are in the playoff mix at this time. He plays 13 playoff games, and if you look at his regular season, he's getting a point a game in his first season, goal every 2 games. It's about right. Double the assists? No. He doesn't get the assists in the playoffs. He's not a point per game guy in the playoffs. He's a point every 2/3 of the time. So every 3 games, he'll score 2 points. It just doesn't quite hit it off in the playoffs. Partly because you're playing against the best. At this point, in the regular season, the best 16 teams get the playoffs. I say this every time. Partly because his teammates around him haven't got a lot of playoff experience, apart from maybe Milan Lucic, as a Stanley Cup winner with Boston, and doing well with the Kings. Well, he didn't actually get the playoffs with the Kings, but with Boston, Milan Lucic is a playoff guy. Not a lot of playoff experience in the team around either, so they do fall, maybe get a bit nerves. Deer in the headlights. It's his first NHL playoff appearance in his second season. It's a learning curve for him, much like Austin Matthews and Patrick Laine as well. His numbers are comparable to those two. To say they haven't done it in the playoffs is a misnomer. He's only had the 1 appearance. It's a very small sample size. You cannot go by that sample size and say he's crap in the playoffs. He's I would say Austin Matthews is under a lot of pressure as well. So is Patrick Laine. All three of them play in Canadian markets, hence why I've done videos on them. But if you look at his overall totals in 3 seasons, he's got 209 games played. Yes, injury affected the first season, so he would have played even more games than that. He's got 87 goals. Not bad. Not bad. 169 assists. I would expect that to go through the roof this season. 256 points. He will break the 350-point barrier this season in total points. He's also got 70 penalty minutes, so he's not always the cleanest player. Even though he's the best player in the league, he has a bit of a physical side to him. That playoff run, one playoff run with a team that doesn't have a lot of playoff experience in it. That first season, ruined by injury, people were concerned that may harm his development. Clearly it didn't. It made him come back bigger, stronger and more determined. Last season, him and a couple of teammates in Drysdale and Nugent Hopkins carrying the team. Season before, he doesn't have to score so much and get as many points because the team is also producing between lines 2, 3 and 4. The depth scoring is there when he's not on the ice. He's playing more minutes, more time, more tired. But he still gets his totals up, partly because he's playing more time. But he is being targeted a lot. Shut down very well in the playoffs. Hopefully Edmonton can bounce back, inject some more pace into their lineup, because that lineup then last season bit on the slow side. Some big name players did not perform, and if you only got 2 or 3 guys carrying the team regularly who are all centres, it's a problem. And when you're playing one of them out of position, it doesn't work. And when Conor McDavid has an off night, which was once every 2 games, the team generally lost. If he scored, they won. If he didn't score, they lost. So very heavily reliant on a few players in the team as well, which puts a lot of pressure on a star player. Some are questioning whether he should be captain of the Oilers because of his age, because of the amount of pressure that a Canadian market would put on him. And that is still pressure. It's a lot of pressure. But his numbers read it out. He can deal with that. It just so helps that he needs teammates around him. Because of his length of contract, he needs teammates around him to help him out a little bit more. Will he win the Stanley Cup? Possibly. Will it be with Edmonton? Possibly. Will it be with someone else? Probably. It's a difficult one. Whether he actually does go on and win a Stanley Cup or gets close. But on last season and his first season, doesn't look likely as the Edmonton Oilers would. Their brief playoff run, gave some hope for the future, but Winnipeg and Toronto, the 2 other big Canadian teams at the moment, are looking stronger than Edmonton. But Edmonton will definitely be a better team this year than last year. Let's just hope they're a bit more consistent than they have been. But there you go, brief look at the career numbers of Conor McDavid. Thank you very much for watching. I know it's only a brief sample size, but there you go. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Place your comments below, and I'll have some more videos for you soon.